And I did this video because I wanted to show you what's possible. And I've realized, especially with making money online, there is no cap. Because a lot of these income streams, you're not going to see results right away. It's about planting the seeds now so that you can reap the benefits later.
And now, back to the show. Yes, we've been away for a while, but today I wondered what would be interesting. Can we talk about think differently? Can we talk about risk versus reward? What are these online platforms and how effective are they? There are so many ways to make this amazing. So enjoy the show. I welcome you because I'm trying out this platform. I know that Zoom has some other capabilities, and today I felt like I want to use this particular capability because I feel like we have a great opportunity here. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my new episode of a new show called Blockchain Speaks. And I want to talk a little bit about blockchain. We're going to talk about, the coins. We're going to talk about cryptocurrency. But today I want to really give you some tips. Most of my videos, I know that you've noticed, most of them we talk about these new platforms. There's some amazing opportunities out there for passive income opportunities. And I know that some people have a passion for them and some people have a passion against them. And I understand that, right? Because that's the way the world is. Everybody can't like everything. Therefore, some people like some things, some people like other things. But when you come on to YouTube, you're in the public sphere, then you're going to get all of that. So believe me, I appreciate everybody's comments. I appreciate everybody's opinions. And I can respect the fact that we will not agree on everything. But today, I want to talk about Blockchain Speaks. So this is kind of a podcast of sorts that I started a long time ago, and I really want to engage with my audience and let them know that, when I come on here, it's not always about, what new platform is out there, how can you make some money with, this particular, what they call online investment platforms, OIPs, right? Online investment platforms. And sometimes I want to give you some content, give you something of more value. So I appreciate you taking the time and kind of going down this road with me today. So yeah, this is one of the episodes of Blockchain Speaks, which is a new podcast that I started some time ago. And now I want to continue having those conversations with you. So what we're going to talk about, though, we're not necessarily just going to stay on one topic. But what I want to do is let you know that sometimes you need to take a break, right? You need to take a break from, what new platform is out there, who's doing what, which HYP, is there a hype over here? Is there another platform that's, paying 7% a day? Is another one paying 3 or 4, 10% a day? Sometimes, we got to take a break. Right. And let's go back to reality. Let's look at what we're doing on a day-to-day basis, because one of the things that you'll hear me talk about is there are tips and tricks and different strategies that are involved in increasing your level of income. When I'm talking exponentially increase them, and you have to be prepared for that type of income. And if you do get on one of these particular, OIPs, online investment platforms, and they stay around for 10 to 12 months, and you're actually earning continuously because you got in when it was first 10 or 12 days old, and now it's 10 to 12 months down the road, you could easily be making about $300 a day for 300 days a year. And, if you are fortunate enough to find one of those platforms, then great. Or you could start when they're 10 days old and you can make $300 a day, and then it may only last for 20 days and then it's gone. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you we're going to talk about some awesome platform today and it's going to be the one that's going to make you all the money. That's just like me coming on and saying, hey, look, since today is going to be another episode of Blockchain Speaks, we're going to talk about, cryptocurrency. We're going to talk about huddling, or we're going to talk about stake and rewards, right? We can talk about that because that's just something that I think all of us have to be very understanding of, because you cannot just put your money into some of these online platforms that may or may not last, for a while. And so what I do with my team, right, because, fortunately I have an amazing team that we invest in different opportunities together. And like I said, we do really well in most of them. And we've had some good ones, had some bad ones. But for the most part, we got some amazing people around the world. We do get together once a week and we talk about different platforms. We talk about different strategies. And so I have this theme that I talk about called 1K per day, right? This is something that, I've instituted with my team to make sure that no matter who it is, everybody has the opportunity to earn 1K per day. That is the message. That is the mission. 1K per day. And so if you've already gotten beyond 1K per day, then it's not about earning 1K per day. But if you've gotten past that, so me in a smaller group, we've gotten past that. So now it's about 1K per day contribution. So, and that can include investing knowledge, education, and information into the ones that are increasing their knowledge, education, and information in order to get to that point. So everybody's not going to start at the same point. Some of us are going to start at, the higher levels because we have the capacity to do that. But the other ones that don't, then we're going to show you how you can stay the course, show you how, the discipline that it takes in order for you to create those multiple streams that will be strictly passive, but definitely profitable. And so you don't have to be on a 40-40 plan like we used to say in network marketing. You're on a plan, a 40-40 meaning that in 40 days, we're going to put 40,000 in your pocket. That's the plan that we work on, but not 40 days, 40 years, and 40% of your income as your retirement. That's not how we operate. So there are too many platforms out here that give you a great benefit. But today on Blockchain Speaks, I'm going to tell you what we're going to talk about, and you're going to like this. Today, we're going to talk about very, very serious and amazing reasons that passive income is the key to wealth building, right? So we're going to talk about the keys to wealth building. And I'm going to give you 3 awesome points about the keys to wealth building. So the 3 points, what are we going to talk about? The first point, we're going to talk about how to think differently. How to think differently. That's the first thing you're going to have to do. You're going to have to think differently. And so you can't imagine earning a retirement income, an income that pretty much your bills are paid, you're planning trips, you're traveling, you're looking at your bucket list because you actually wrote one and you're wanting to visit certain locations in the world. You know how you grew up when you were in high school or grade school and in history or in geography or something like this, or even in, economics, you could talk about different countries and, you talk about globalization, you talk about entrepreneurship, what gave you, that dreamland? What made you think of visiting another country, another land, another culture? And so these are the type of things that we're going to show you how to make them a reality, right? So it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. And so you may go at a certain pace and I may go at a certain pace, but guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to make sure we're side by side. I'm going to make sure that when we're together, we're going to make those steps together. And so that whatever success that you want to have, then definitely you will get. So this is how we do it, right? What did Jim Rohn say? You make sure that you help enough people, other people, successful, then you become successful. And so therefore the mission is you will become successful when you hang around other people that have the mentality first of being successful, and then they shift and present themselves in a great physical manifestation of that success, right? So if you've done it, then it's a little easier for you to show it and to actually grow it. So the first thing we're going to talk about, think differently. Second thing we're going to talk about is there are 3 things that look like red flags. I call them orange flags when you're looking at a personal income opportunity. So all of them aren't red flags. They aren't, deal breakers in the sense of, oh my gosh, don't do that. There are risks involved in online platforms. And those risks, just like risks involved with getting and driving a car, risks, involved with walking through the house with no shoes on. I mean, there's risk involved in a lot of things, right? We know that. But then there's risk mitigation and there's reducing risk. And then there's basically eliminating risk. And so I can, talk about all that stuff. But today, one of the things I'm going to talk about is there's 3 things to look for that look like red flags, but maybe more of an orange flag. And that's what I call it, an orange flag, because it's not a deal breaker. The third thing I want to talk about is, why cryptocurrency? Because I'm talking about digital currency all day long. So you want to know why. Why can't we talk about making money with the US dollar or the British pound or euro? Why is it digital currency? Why not, stocks and bonds? Great. I'm glad you asked. So let's get into it. So what is the difference between active income and passive income? That's a question that you have to kind of answer before we even get started. So here's active. Active income is when you physically trade your time for money. So when you actually go to work, get up out of your bed, clean yourself up, get you some breakfast, get in your car, go off to an office, or in a pandemic, you wake up, wash your face, get some food, and walk into the next room, turn on your computer, and you're at your office. Whichever way you look at it, you're on somebody's clock. Okay. So when you're on somebody's clock, then whatever you do between that time and the ending time is active income. You are actively waiting for them to either tell you what to do so you can do it, or you've been given an assignment and you're actually accomplishing that assignment. Now, let me make sure I am very clear up front. There is absolutely nothing wrong with having a job. We all need to go to work. That's very true. Now, at a point in life, you have to decide, do I want to become wealthy or do I want to work for somebody else and create wealth for them? And somewhere down the road, you'll figure it out. Some people like to not have the headache of a startup, just like with Investrix. There's a lot of responsibility with the latest platform that we're working with, because it's a startup, because there's some bumps and bruises that happen at the beginning. And so fortunately, I'm prepared for that. I'm happy to be, one of the founders in that particular, platform. And it's tough, right? But when we get through it, we weather the storm, guess what? Things are going to work out. Things are going to smooth out and it's going to be just fine. But right now, you have to have the fortitude in order to deal with startups, right? And so it takes leaders to make sure that the masses understand it's going to be okay, right? So I've been prepared for that, and it's been amazing. It's been an amazing ride. Great people to work with. And so when I talk about active versus passive income, like I said, active is when you're trading time for money, when you're actually going to do something because somebody else has assigned it to you, or because you have been given some instructions, or somebody else is controlling what you do with your time. That's active income. They're going to pay you, but they're controlling what you do with your time. Now, like I said, that's just part of life, right? You got to start somewhere. That's where you start. You may have a great job. You may make 100,000, make 200,000 a year. That's great. You may even make 400,000 a year, and that's better. You might be in charge of something at that point, and you can control some of your time. But at the end of the day, somebody else is telling you what to do and when to do it. Now, the other side of that is passive income. So passive income is, hey, if I do this, it may take a while. It may take some energy. It may take some doing, but I'm doing it because I want to do it. One, two, because I know the reward for it. Two, and three, if I can do it great, it'll pay me over and over and over without me having to do it again. So passive income is exactly what it says. Passive, right? I don't actively have to work on that every single day in order for it to be an income producing particular opportunity. Okay. So think about that for a second. You have active where you're working hard for it. You're taking your time and your effort, and every single time you do something, you're going to get paid for it, even if it's in increments of weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, however that is, whatever the agreement is, or whatever they tell you it is. That's what you're going to get paid for putting in work, doing what I asked you to do for this time frame. Okay. Now, and some people, hey, look, I love my job. I like the people I work with, all that good stuff. That's great, man. That's just human nature. Because you're around good people, then you enjoy what you do, and somebody is compensating you for it. Hey, that's great. That is great. So, but think about it. When you want to take a time off, when you want to take a vacation, when you want to go to a graduation, when you want to, right, go to, I don't know, on the flip side of that, those are good things. There are times that you might need to go to a funeral. There are times that you may have to travel to an actual job related event, and you may be out of pocket when something bad happens where you need to be there and you're not able to make it because of your job. And so these are some of the things that people don't factor in when it comes to, well, I just want to work for 40 years and then I'll retire. How many people retire though? You know, in between 2008 and 2010 and up to today, the statistics show that more people are working beyond 67. Did you beyond? They're working up to 80 years old because all of their retirement that they wanted to use at 67 is not there anymore because the market crashed, and all this happens without your knowing and without you even knowing it's coming because we're not clued in like that, right? Because there are some people that are managing the money that you plan to retire with. They're managing your money and they're doing it in a very, very bad way. But you don't know because you allow them to do it. But if you can take control, if you can get passive income as your primary income, it's a game changer. And so I may not be 100% there, but guess what? I'm already over that 1K per day. So I'm good with talking about it because I know I can be about it. So here's a couple of other things that I want to relate to you. So, you know, when you venture into the crypto space, right? And this is that think differently. I'm going to take you there, right? The number one thing, like I said, there's three things I'm going to talk about. Now, I mentioned earlier, but I'm going to recap. One, we're going to talk about thinking differently, active income to passive income, thinking differently. Two, there's three things I want to show you. I'm going to talk a little bit about that may be what I consider orange flags, but not necessarily red flags in some online opportunities that you may come across, right? So be careful. And the third thing I'm going to talk about is why cryptocurrency? Because if you know me, you know I'm going to talk about cryptocurrency. So we're going to talk about those three things. So first thing I'm talking about is think differently. So what do I mean when I say think differently? Well, so when you venture into crypto, right, you know that in crypto investing and online investing platforms, because, you know, I do trading, right, online trading, crypto trading, you know, in order for you to really benefit from that, you have to think differently. Online trading, staking rewards, anything in this decentralized finance space, you know, we got leverage yield farming. You're like, what are you talking about? Think differently, right? So really the question is, how would I think differently then, Rashid? How would I think differently if I came upon these opportunities? Well, the first thing is, and I'm gonna break it down for you like really, really easy, because there's no trick. It's just a matter of thinking differently, not the same, right? You could have a traditional mindset, but you won't understand when it comes to the progressive opportunity. A traditional mindset can't understand a progressive opportunity. You're going to have to shift and break something in there in order to understand that in the fourth industrial revolution, right? It's not the third industrial revolution, it's the fourth. That means that whatever happened in the third industrial revolution has been surpassed. So when you start to think about what happened in the 80s and the 90s, and you think that that's the same type of thinking that's going to get you into the 2000s, you're missing out. You're missing out. There was a pandemic in 2020. Some people got stuck in 2020. Yeah, they got stuck mentally in 2020. They got stuck because of the mentality that they were using to do their everyday tasks. You started getting stimulus checks. You don't have a job because you're working in a hospitality industry. You didn't think that, what if I take this time, what if I take this opportunity and to learn how to trade stocks, how to trade Forex? Why don't I learn a trade like that? Because with or without this pandemic, guess what will happen? One day I'll have an opportunity to get up and walk outside with or without a mask on. One day I'll have an opportunity to explore some different opportunities. But will I go back to the same industry that put me in this position in the first place where I couldn't work? What was I doing in order to prepare myself just in case I either lost my job or the company went under, right? Or I was not able to bring income into my family's house. What was I doing? Did I do something different? Did I prepare myself? Did I create a passive income funnel that could supply us in the event that a pandemic came? Of course not. One, you don't prepare for earthquakes. You don't prepare for floods. You don't prepare for no fire burning your house down. Most people don't prepare for, I don't know, you know, a dinosaur eating your car. No, we don't have nothing. You don't think it's going to happen. But guess what? Nobody thought that there was going to be a virus that took over the world in 2020 either. Now it's time to get prepared, right? So anyway, around March of last year, I prepared. Well, I had a daughter coming, so you know I was a little distracted. You know, the pandemic, the lockdown came March 16th. My daughter was born March 21st. So no, I wasn't thinking about no pandemic. I was thinking about protecting my daughter. But at the end of the day, around March and April, there were some stocks that if you didn't get them, you should have, right? So we're talking passive again. Keep up with me. Think differently. Think differently. That's number one. So if you're thinking different, you're thinking passive. How can I make money without having to what? Trade time for money. How can I go online? How can I find an opportunity that I can put some money into and it give me a return? People have been doing this forever. Yeah, forever. People that make money, right? And they actually travel, they actually do things they like, they actually take their families on vacations. Guess what? They're making money while they're on vacation too. You know why? Because they prepared for it. They prepared for it. And I'm trying to prepare you for it. All right. So today in Blockchain Speaks, we're talking about, yes, passive income under a cryptocurrency heading. Yes. Number 3 is going to be why cryptocurrency. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. So at the end of the day, I want you to understand, one, you got to think differently. Here's the takeaway for thinking differently. If you decide that you want to step out of the active income side and hit the passive income side, you have to decide what is your passive income vehicle. Now, you may be thinking, oh, okay, so when I go over here and work with a company called CashFX, nothing wrong with it. Company is doing well. People are making money with it. Passive income. You may think that CashFX is your vehicle. What if you want to create a digital product? What if you have the capacity to create a digital book, ebook, right? Or e-course, and you have information and you're able to put all that together, you create that e-course. Is that e-course your vehicle to get you to where you want to go? So let me, okay, what if you write a book, right? The book keeps giving, right? You don't have to be there to read the book to anybody. If the person can read, they got your book. The person's in India and they buy your book on Amazon, they can read your book without you even being there or knowing about it. Well, you get commission, so you will know. So that's another way to have a passive income stream, right? But is that book the vehicle? So think about this for a second. If you believe the book is the vehicle and people stop buying the book, what are you going to do? If you think CashFX, the Forex trading company that pays you for depositing money and letting their bots trade, or humans or whoever's trading, if you get paid to do that and that company stops, is that your vehicle? So you need to shift. And this is where think differently comes into play. One, you got to think differently because traditional mindset does not get you into a progressive future. So what is going to happen? Here's what you got to think about. CashFX is not your vehicle. Okay. Number 2, your book, your digital course online is not your vehicle. There are definitely good pieces of the puzzle. Let me tell you what your vehicle is. Your passive income is the vehicle. A lot of people don't get that. A lot of people don't know that. And you know what? I wasn't going to bring it up because I talked to my immediate circle about these concepts. The mind has to shift. You have to think differently in order to win. And the strategies that you use, which obviously are strategies that I use and my team uses in order to win in this particular space, right? So think differently. Do not believe that an actual company or platform, online, offline, is the vehicle that's going to take you wherever you want to go. Those are fuel for your vehicle because your vehicle is passive income. The fuel is the CashFX. The fuel is Cubatech. The fuel, right? It shouldn't be Cubatech anymore, but the fuel, like Miralex, the fuel is that digital course. The fuel is that book that you wrote. Those are fuel, those are tires, those are pieces of the engine, the paint on the vehicle. That's all the things that go into the vehicle. But the vehicle has to be, don't take your eye off the prize, the vehicle has to be passive income. That's the vehicle. So what's number two? Number two is there's three things I'm gonna tell you about, right? I may give you two, may not give you three. Three things that we're gonna talk about that are orange flags. So if you're online and you're looking at these, pretty awesome programs, and these programs come up and you're doing your industry research, right? You're looking at these opportunities and you're like, hey, there are certain things that I need to look at. I'm gonna tell you what's funny to me. There are people that follow me on, YouTube, and they look at my channel and they see I'm talking about a new platform, a new program, something out there that's, paying good return for your investment or your deposit rate of return, so on and so forth. And so it may be something that says, hey, we'll give you, you're going to get, 10% every day for 7 days in this program. Somebody will pop up and say, oh, that's unreasonable. You can't do that. That's never going to happen. Right. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. Then another one comes up and they say, hey, you know what? We're going to offer you earn, 3 to 5% every day for 20 days. And then you get your money back as well. You get your principal back, right? So pretty simple stuff. You're like, oh, okay, that's a little more reasonable. Okay. But then something comes up and says, hey, look, we're gonna pay you 47% every 14 days, right? And we give you your principal back trading crypto with Autobot, on these crypto exchanges across the globe. Now, some people may have some understanding of cryptocurrency and trading, but somebody also say, oh my gosh, I've seen the website, I've seen the information. So who's the CEO? Okay, so let me break this down for you real quick. So you got to think differently. That's number one. So let me help you with that concept. One, if you hear somebody ask who is the CEO and they're not in this particular space, or they may be in this space, but they haven't made any money in this space, or they're not at 1K per day and they're not in our program, that's an orange flag. Okay. Orange flag. Why is it an orange flag? Because the CEO is not the one that's going to help you make money or not make money. The program that's created is not predicated upon who the CEO is. That is traditional thinking. In a traditional operation, there is a cabinet, there's stakeholders, there's shareholders, there's a CEO, CFO, CMO, and so on and so forth. So that's traditional, but this is an online platform. All you need is somebody that's smart enough to develop an actual system on the blockchain. They program an AI software bot with machine learning, and you hire 2 Forex traders to sit behind a desk, yep, and monitor a platform of X amount of operations. That's what you do. So who are you going to find? What CEO are you going to talk to? And what are you going to ask them when you find out who they are? What is it going to do for your career? What is it going to do for your passive income lifestyle to know I'm the CEO of that corporation? What does that do for you? What's the difference between knowing that I run that particular operation and I represent that operation? What's the difference? None, right? So when somebody asks that question, you could easily say that's an orange flag for the person asking you. All right. So if they decide they want to join your operation and understand and find out more about it, that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. But you have to educate people on what is important to the platform helping you in your passive income destination. That's what you need to find out. And when you can understand that as a representative of my team, you'll be able to have those conversations with people, because we're not about turning people away. We're about educating people on what's important about the online investment platform and what's not. Because we're about wealth producing activities every single day. We're not about talking about things that are relevant to a progressive platform versus a traditional mindset. It's just the way it is. You have to think differently if you're going to win at these particular strategies. It is no two ways about it. It just does not work like it used to. These are different types of platforms. This is a different time. You know, The orange flags that I talk about, you know, um, let me look at that. I got some notes here. I want to make sure I hit these things. You got to do your due diligence. That's the key, right? Doing your due diligence. And then you have to weigh out the risk versus reward evaluation. So when you do that shift or that pivot in or out of the platform, you got to do your due diligence yourself. So when I talk about orange or red orange flags are basically things that you question, but it's not a deal breaker. There will always be orange flags, always. Why? Because you don't own the company. You don't own the platform. You don't own the software. You don't know what's behind the curtain, and you won't ever know. Get over it. If you're gonna step into this ring, get beyond all of that. I gotta know this. I gotta know that. I had somebody. You know what? I had somebody today on one of my channels, and they were like, "Oh, this doesn't smell, right. This doesn't smell legit." And I laughed, because I'm like, what are you smelling for? What do you want? Right? I don't, it doesn't compute to me. What's the relevance of you even saying that? If you find out there's something about the platform that you don't like, what is it? Okay. What if you don't like the fact that we don't have in the back office of a platform I'm on right now? If you say, okay, I really would like to have a way to download my members in my organizational structure, right? People that have signed up, and with my particular referral, we don't have it. Oh my gosh, something's wrong with this company. Oh my gosh, I can't operate in this capacity. I'm used to having a way that I can download them so I can contact my people and work with them. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to write them down one by one. Oh my gosh, I don't think this is legit. This is the kind of nonsense that we'll get. But that's a red flag for somebody that you work with or don't work with. Then you got to educate them on this is the platform and this is how it works. So a lot of times it's just a matter of how do you approach the individuals, because you have enough information in order to give them and let them either make their own decision, right? You either stay or you don't. It's a progressive mindset that will have to be instituted in order to move on with this particular program. This space ain't for everybody. Online investment platforms have come. They are very, very profitable if you do them right. If you don't do them right, if you follow somebody that don't know what they're doing, or if you follow somebody that always presents 10% per day and 20 cents per day, they don't know what they're doing if they're telling you to sign up. They don't. That's not something that everybody can handle. You're the one sitting there trying to figure out how to pay your bills. You can't say, oh my gosh, I just saw this and I've been praying, and I just saw this guy on YouTube say I can make 10% a day. And then when 1 week I'll be able to double my money. And you're going to take your rent money because you don't have enough for your electric bill. So you take your rent money. Now you don't have your electric bill or your rent money, and you're going to put it into this online platform because this guy said you can get 10% a day. You need to have somebody that can vet that information. You need to have somebody that can say, hold on, let me take a look at that for you. Now, is it always going to be that it doesn't work? Is it always going to be that that's not legit? No, they may pay you for X amount of time. And if you know anything about my talks on this particular platform, YouTube channel, I'll tell you in a heartbeat. One of the criteria is the fact that you have to know there's a lifespan on all of these platforms, all of them. Even the current ones I'm in, there's a lifespan. I don't know what it's going to be, but I have an idea. Therefore, I can navigate around that, right? And the people that's with me navigate around that and become very profitable in the process. So that's what's beautiful about having some insight to how these work, right? So there will always, while you're doing your due diligence and you're asking questions and you have your criteria that you look at, I have my criteria that I look at. And so we're trying to figure out, is this a legit platform? What is it that I'm looking for? And that's a list of things that I look for, and I tell my team about those things, and we have a discussion and we vet different programs. And so when we come up with the 5 key passive income programs that we want to participate in, then that's what we do, right? And we go full force. And so in a short period of time, boom, 1K per day, we move on. That's just an inside thing that I got to give you some tips today. So anyway, you got some things in there that are orange flags, right? if somebody says, hey, look, we're building this platform, and you sign up and you hear that, hey, we've been having some problems with this particular function or that particular function, and hey, next week you're going to see, a blue screen in the background. But then next week comes around and you had all these delays and you don't see a blue screen in the background. You're like, hey, where's the blue screen that you talked about? Because we needed that to do X, Y, Z. Just giving you an example of something that's promised, but then you don't see it. Why don't I see it? When we knew that it was important to the program, right? So sometimes there are certain things that are promised by the people in charge of that platform, and you don't see it happen. And then they say there's a delay, and you don't see it happen again. Now all of a sudden, those orange flags start to flapping in the wind. And so you have to look for some of these things. But there's, like I said, I got a list of criteria that I look for before we go into a program. And like I said, that's for a whole different episode. So you want to know, number 3, why cryptocurrency? So when I look at a platform, I look at, is it Bitcoin? Is it Ethereum? Is it Binance Coin? Is it in the top 10? Do they accept USDC, USDT, stable coins? What is the benefit of even going into this program? So I'm gonna tell you, there's 3 reasons for me personally that I say why cryptocurrency, why I choose cryptocurrency. 1, volatility. 2, profitability. And 3, the future usability. Those are the 3 things: profitability, volatility, and the future usability. That's what cryptocurrency is key for me. And so when I look at a platform and I see that they're using Bitcoin, they're using Ethereum, they're using Litecoin, kind of like with Watermine. Watermine has Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, which I will never touch. And, then they have a variety of others. There's another platform that I recently got involved with called Aura 4 Finance, and they accept probably about 10 or so, and they do accept Binance Coin as well. And I really like that because in BNB Profit, as you know, in one of my videos, I talk about BNB Profit. BNB Profit pays us in Binance Coin every day, right to our wallet. We don't have to ask for it. We don't have to fill out no paperwork and nothing. It's just, hey, when you collect, I think above $40 or something like that, you're going to get Binance Coin deposited into your wallet. It's a beautiful thing. So now I'm stacking Binance coins, and they have, yield farming as well. And they have another cake staking opportunity for us as well, which gives us about 1% a day on top of the 2.2%, up to 2.2% that we get. And so with that being the case, every day my wallet is being filled up with Binance coins. So with that Binance coin, I can take that profit and I can go over to this new platform, and I don't have to take profit. And that's another thing that, I talked about with my team, right? I can't give you everything, but just so you know, we use our profits in one platform to test out another platform. And so you take, if you earn, and let's say you earn 100% of your profit over here, then we can take 20% of that and invest in another platform to see if it's legit and see if it gives us that return that it's promising. And if you get it at the right time, then you get that benefit. But if you hit it at the wrong time, then there may be a loss. But guess what that loss is? From profits from somewhere else. It's not coming out of your pocket. And those are some of the things that you have to learn as you grow in this particular space. And I want everybody to know there is a method to the madness. You may see me announcing a different program. You may see others like Crypto Muscle and Cashflow Legacy, Crypto Pays Me Daily, Zeb Summers, all these people that are leaders in this industry out there on these platforms, they'll show you different programs all the time, but they have a strategy to this. And you have to really listen and hone in on the strategy. It's not just about flashing new things out in front of you. No. The shiny object syndrome, we don't play that, right? There's a strategy behind every move we make. So this has been a pleasure. This is When Blockchain Speaks. Today I talked to you about 3 things, right? I gave you reasons why passive income is the key to your wealth building. 1, think differently. 2, I gave you 3 things that may look like orange flags and you might want to be careful about. And then number 3, I talked about why cryptocurrency. 1, its volatility is your friend, because when it goes up, you're going to make a whole lot of money. If it goes down and you get caught in that, well, guess what? You have to wait till it goes back up. Profitability. It's always an opportunity to make a lot more with cryptocurrency than it is with fiat currency. And then you have the future usability. So even though I'm collecting these, coins, guess what? I'm stacking them, a portion of it, into the staking, where I get staking rewards. I get a certain amount of yield, 8%, 10%, 20%, or whatever it is on those that I put aside for future retrieval. And so when Bitcoin goes to 100,000, when Binance coins goes to 1,000, and when Ethereum, when it goes to 7,000, guess what? I'm going to have my 1,000 of Ethereum, I have 1,000 of Binance coin, and hey, however many Bitcoin I have at that time, it's all good. It's been a pleasure, and I hope that you like what you heard today. I hope you got some benefit out of it. I hope that you were happy to take a little break from some of those other types of videos that I normally do about these passive income programs. But today I wanted to give you a little something different, let you know that, yeah, there's more to Rashid than just these, these programs. And I wanted to show that, hey, I got a different background. I can play with this a little bit and see what else I can put up there for you next time. All right. I know I was sitting in one spot all the time, but hey, hopefully you got some benefit out of it. If you did, definitely like, and share it out. Share it out to your friends. Share it out to people that you think will benefit from this video. Hopefully there's some content, some value that you took from it. And I definitely appreciate any of my teammates from any of my programs. I thank you for joining me. I thank you for following what I do. And I appreciate you sharing it out with others so they can join the channel. If I can get to 1,000 subscribers, then hey, YouTube is real friendly to people that have a lot more subscribers. And so I'm kind of new at this. I've been doing it for a little while, but it's starting to pick up traction. And hey, I appreciate any support I can get from you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hit that like, subscribe, and definitely comment as you will. This is Rashid Hill, and I'm going to have to take a leave, but I'll see you on the next one. Peace, and I'm out.